Hi everybody, Kathy Syrett from Confident Leader Journey here. In a recent vlog, we looked at how we can use confidence mapping to help make sure we're not just treating symptoms, we're actually looking for underlying causes of issues. So that we can, instead of fix potholes in our road, we can actually rebuild the road so it's fit for purpose. And we're going to kind of continue that theme today by looking at what else gets in the way of actually coming up with good solutions. And obviously we're going to focus on confidence issues. Now, this is taken from the book again, and just like last time, if you go and take a look at the Confident Leader Journey community, it's a group. Sign up for it if you're not signed up already, or if you're on their post. And just like last time, I will send you a free chapter in the book which goes into more detail on this. Okay? So that's absolutely free, no commitment from you. But just go and pop on the community and ask me for it. So you can now get the chapter on the mapping and the chapter on this section. So let's kick off with the 5 biggest mistakes people make when they're trying to solve problems. Mistake number 1 is not identifying the real issue in a useful way. Let me give you an example. I was working with a businessman here, let's call him Daniel, and he said he'd been trying for ages to fix one particular problem. And I asked him what it was, and he said, it's really, I can't get people to follow the correct procedures. So my company, as Daniel said, my company makes high specification parts used in making medical instruments. I mean, the tolerances are tiny, they have to be very accurate. And every night, the machinery we use has to be carefully recalibrated to ensure they stay within the required specifications. However, time after time, the calibration team was coming in and finding out that the machinery hadn't been turned off early enough and it was too warm to do the recalibration. This was costing the company a lot of money as more and more product was failing the quality testing. Now, Daniel had tried running courses, he tried training, he'd tried one-to-one meetings, he'd tried meeting with line managers, he'd put disciplinary procedures in place, he'd even threatened to fire some people. None of this had fixed the problem, which Daniel had defined as people aren't following the proper procedures. I had a slightly different perspective. And so I said to him, okay, you want to fix this? Okay, let's pay me for my time. So I got him to pay me for my time. And I said, right, here's the issue. The real issue is the machines aren't cool enough by midnight when the recalibration team comes in. In order to be cool enough, they need to be switched off at 6 p.m. at the latest. Okay? The workers' shifts finish at 6. Sometimes some of them go over a little bit. So I said, he had the problem defined as how can we get people to remember about calibration? But really it was how can we make sure the machines are off at 6? So I said, why don't we just put them on a timer switch? I swear Daniel hit his head on the desk. He was like, oh, for goodness sake. Now, yes, there were some little things to work out, like what if someone was in the middle of something? They would lose that bit of product that they were working on. But it would cost far less than not being able to recalibrate the machines and maintain their accuracy. So you'd think the manager would be happy with that cheap and quick fix, wouldn't you? Actually, he was a little bit frustrated because he'd spent so long trying to change people's behaviour when actually that wasn't the issue. He was fixated on his definition of the issue, and that had given him tunnel vision on looking at other things and other ways of looking at it. So here's the thing. How we define the issue is critically important. And when it comes to confidence, the key is we have to define the issue in a way that we own it. I'll give you a couple of simple examples. The issue isn't that audiences don't like my presentations. The issue is that I have not yet been able to produce a presentation that audiences have liked. I have to take ownership because if it's something I'm going to fix, it's going to be, I can't fix the audience, but I can fix me. I can change what I do. With horse riders, my horse keeps bolting. No, that's not the issue. The issue is you don't know what to do to stop the horse from bolting. Do you see how this changes it? So mistake number 1 is not defining the issue in a way that's useful and puts you in the ownership position. What's mistake number 2? Mistake number 2 is focusing on the problem instead of the desired outcome. If I look at, I don't know what to do to stop my horse from bolting, and I look at that, I get tunnel visioned. And if any solution that doesn't have anything to do with my horse bolting, I'm not even going to look at. I'm looking at that kind of, how can I stop? How can I stop it? How can I stop it? And I get sucked down into the problem. If, however, I reframe it as my desired outcome is that I can ride my horse confidently out and about, and I know my horse isn't going to bolt. We're both confident. We're both relaxed when we're out there. How about the presentation? How about if I know my desired outcome is that I'm asked to do a presentation and I accept it and I'm glad and happy I don't have any butterflies in my stomach, and I know I can produce a presentation that will engage the audience because I know how to do that. How about that as a desired outcome? Now, what difference is that? See, the issue is framed very negatively. I'll give you an example. I had a gentleman, he was a lot of experience working with junior people in the company, but not a lot of experience working with senior people. And he developed the belief that he was not confident working with senior people. And the problem was, I need to get more confidence working with senior people. And that's a very tricky one to do. But if, however, he expressed his desire as, my desire is I will have solved this problem when I can be in a meeting with senior people and be relaxed and calm, state my piece clearly and concisely, and not be worried. Well, there's lots of different ways to do that. So instead of how can I stop being unconfident, we go to this is the desired outcome I have. This is what I'm aiming for. There's a couple of things it does. One, gives us a positive focus instead of a negative one. Rather than how can I stop X, it's like how can I become this? So we're moving forwards towards something positive, which takes the threat element away from it, which we can talk about in another vlog. Okay, makes it a positive thing. We can then focus on positive ways to build towards that. And we also know when we've got there. It gives us an easy way to measure it because we create that vision, that desired outcome, make it specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. And there we are. Which brings us on to mistake number 3. Mistake number 3 is not making that desired outcome realistic and achievable. I had someone again who was very, very nervous making presentations of projects. He had to do a lot of scientific data presentations to board members, so he had to be able to break it down into simple language, and he was terrified of it. He stumbled every time. He was really struggling with it. And he had a desired outcome of doing a presentation to a board on a new idea he had. He wanted to do it in 3 weeks' time to the whole board. And he only had like a couple of hours a week to practice and work on it. And that was totally unrealistic and not achievable. So he was setting himself up for failure. So we changed the desired outcome, and that was that he would run a draft presentation by one member of the board who was his friend and get feedback on it in 3 weeks' time, ready to present to the board a couple of months ahead. As soon as we did that, tension goes. So we've got to be realistic and achievable. Okay, rather than, I want to be a leader of a department in 6 months when you've just joined the company. If you make the desired outcome, I need to have a clear career plan and set of steps in order to become a member of the leadership team within 18 months. See, that's realistic and achievable. Right, 2 more mistakes to go. Mistake number 4, trying to find the one right answer. How many times have you been in meetings at work where people spend hours nitpicking every single idea that comes up because they're looking for the perfect solution? And the fact is there's no such thing. There isn't one perfect solution. What there are is lots of little steps in all kinds of different areas that will move you closer to your desired outcome. That's the other reason for having a desired outcome, because if you want to fix a problem, it channels you into that one solution mentality. Whereas if you have, I need to achieve this desired outcome, there's lots of ways of achieving that desired outcome. Lots of options that will each take you a step closer to it. So for the chap who was unconfident and nervous presenting because he was worried about what the audience would say, one of the things he could do is he could go and watch good presenters and see how they handled things. He could also practice handling questions with friends. He could also do a dry run of his presentation with colleagues before he did his main presentation. All different things. Not a single one of those is the one right answer. This is going to fix everything. We always kind of look for this kind of this fantasy answer that's out there that will solve everything in one go. It doesn't work like that. Nothing in our life has ever worked like that. Why do we expect it here? So what we're looking for is lots of little steps that when they add up, every single one of them moves us closer to our desired outcome, and added up, they will resolve the issue. Okay? And mistake number 5 is trying to go it alone. It's the biggest mistake people make, especially on confidence. So many people believe that they should be confident and that it's a bad thing to not be confident, when in fact it just usually all lack of confidence is we don't have the knowledge, the experience, or the environment where we've had the chance to do these things well yet. Who remembers when they learned to walk? Well, sorry, nobody. Very few of us remember that. How many times do you think you fell down and got up again and fell down and got up again? You had to learn, you had to practice, you had to do it. Who remembers when they learned to drive? Right, a lot of us remember that. At the beginning, do you remember how clunky it was? Do you remember sitting there thinking, I will never get the hang of this? Mirror, signal, maneuver, looking about, do this, have to steer, have to change it. All of these things, it's overwhelming. And then we practiced it. We got the knowledge, we got the skills, we had the supportive coach helping us, the instructor. Okay. And then we were able to drive confidently. So the biggest mistake people make in confidence is going it alone. Why should you? There's loads of people out there who can help you with confidence. I'm one of them. Just go on the Confident Leader Journey community on Facebook. Lots of people there willing to help and share ideas about what works for them for confidence. If you're a horse person, we have the Confidence Hub where you can share ideas as well. So 5 biggest mistakes. Okay. Not identifying the issue in a useful way. Fixating on the problem instead of focusing on the desired outcome. Thinking about the one right answer. That's a challenging one. Not making a desired outcome realistic and achievable. And then trying to go it alone. How many of those mistakes are you making in your confidence management and your progress? Okay, if you want to chat about this, ping me a message. We can do a WhatsApp, do a messenger. And don't forget, you can also get your free 30-minute coaching call with me. Well, that's not exactly a coaching call, it's a discovery call. We have a chat and see if there's anything that I can help you with. You can go to the website confidentleaderjourney.com to find that. Otherwise, I'll see you in next week's blog. Take care.